Anglo-Russian relations are getting increasingly frosty, but are we headed for a long winter? Since the end of the Cold War, the UK and Russia has had a fairly close relationship, but particularly close in terms of economic ties. There are a number of Russian companies listed either directly or indirectly on the London Stock Exchange, and there's been a huge flow of personal wealth into the UK from Russia. London is one of the foreign hubs of oligarchs in the world, and there's been a large amount of Russian money flowing into the London property market in particular. But recent events taken by Russia on the world stage have somewhat soured this relationship, with the most recent example being the attempted poisoning of the Skripals in the UK.
It is clear that Russia, I'm afraid, is now in many respects a malign and disruptive force, and the UK is in the lead across the world in trying to counteract that activity.
In the face of Vladimir Putin's renewed assertiveness, the UK government has taken a fairly hardline approach in response. It has opposed Russian actions on the world stage, and particularly in the UN, and has recently taken a number of domestic actions as well. Most recently, it rescinded Roman Abramovich's visa to enter the country. Now, there are a number of people who oppose this policy, both on pro-Russian grounds, but also on grounds that it is not the most constructive policy to take forward.
President Putin will be the Russian president for the next 6 years, and we can't afford to pretend otherwise or wish it away. Of all the facts I've discussed, and even demanding the protection of human rights in Russia, on all those issues, we will have to engage with that government and maintain what General Pavel from NATO called for. A constructive dialogue, a robust dialogue.
There are two key elements to this more dovish approach to Russia. The first is that there are a number of people who do not see Russia as a bad actor on a world stage, and who see their actions as completely justified in their own political context. The second part is that a number of people also see this policy as pushing Russia further away and hindering any further rapprochement. To those with harsher views on Russia, this smacks of simple naivety.
President Putin's regime is carrying out acts of aggression against our values and interests within Europe and beyond. The challenge of Russia is one that will endure for years to come. As a European democracy, the United Kingdom will stand shoulder to shoulder with our allies in the European Union and NATO to face down these threats together.
To those with more hawkish views, they argue that Russian assertiveness must be met with strength. They take the position that aggressive actions, if they do not have consequences, will continue unchecked. This is why they make the argument for stronger economic sanctions and increased diplomatic pressure on Russia. It's impossible to say whose predictions about Russia will be proven correct, but what is clear is that both sides agree that Anglo-Russian relations are going to get worse before they get better.